All right, so today we're diving into a world where laughter can actually be lethal.
Ooh, that sounds intriguing.
We're going deep into this crime novel excerpt you sent over, The Deadly Punchline, and we're going to go way beyond just figuring out whodunit.
Yeah.
It's really about getting a whole new perspective on ambition, the dark side of humor, and what it really means to kill on stage.
I think what's so fascinating about this story is that it really takes the whole murder mystery thing and uses it to, like, dissect the comedy world.
Right.
It's like a scalpel. You're just cutting through all the layers of laughter and getting down to what's underneath.
Yeah, it's like you walk into this dimly lit dressing room and the air is just thick with that scent of stale cigarettes and, cheap cologne.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where it all begins, right? With the body of Miles Craven.
Right.
This comedian who, ironically, couldn't take the punchline.
Oh, the irony.
I know, and that punchline scrawled on this napkin.
Yeah.
Not even in Craven's handwriting.
Right away, that tells you that we're dealing with someone who's really thought this through. Someone who gets the power of a good joke.
Even in death.
Even in death, exactly.
So the book throws us right into the thick of it with this detective, Max Carvalho.
Yeah.
He's a chain-smoking cynic, I've seen it all. But even he's a little taken aback by this whole case.
He is.
What did you think about his partnership with Emily Dawson, though?
Oh, yeah.
That ambitious journalist?
I love their dynamic because they have completely contrasting approaches.
Right.
And I think that's what makes this whole investigation so interesting.
Right.
Because you get to see all these different sides of the mystery.
Yeah, they're like a two-person act almost.
They are a two-person act.
Their back and forth adds this whole other layer to the investigation.
Absolutely. And then you got this amazing cast of suspects, each with their own connection to Craven and this world of stand-up.
Right.
So let's start with Sheila,
Okay.
the ex-wife.
Okay.
I think she's such a fascinating character.
Yeah.
She's almost like the classic femme fatale, but with this comedic twist.
Yeah.
What do you think the author's trying to achieve by using this archetype?
Oh, I think it really plays with our expectations because we expect her to be this bitter ex, right?
Yeah.
She's motivated by revenge and maybe like a big life insurance payout.
Exactly.
But the book kind of turns that on its head.
Yeah.
It's not just about the money for Sheila.
Right.
It's about all these years of emotional abuse, that belittling disguised as humor.
It makes you think, who's really the victim in this relationship?
Exactly.
And this is where that line between what's actually funny and what's just plain cruel really starts to blur.
Totally.
Because Craven's humor, it made him a star, but it was also this weapon that he used to manipulate and control everyone around him.
Right.
And Sheila's pain, it's hidden behind all these quick comebacks and smiles.
Yeah.
But it's a reminder of how much damage words can inflict.
Absolutely. So the book does such a good job of showing how humor can be this double-edged sword.
For sure.
But what about Marcus King? That rival comedian whose career Craven sabotaged?
Yeah.
He's made all these very public threats against Craven.
He has.
Do you think the author is maybe trying to lead us down a false trail here?
Oh, possibly.
Playing with this whole angry rival trope?
I think there's definitely an ambiguity around Marcus.
Right.
Because, on stage, he's this disgruntled rival.
Yeah.
But off stage, you can tell that he's genuinely upset about his career being ruined.
Right.
So are his threats just part of the act, or is it something more?
Well, you pointed out this box of photos in Craven's car.
Oh, yeah.
Each one was just defaced with insults, almost like this ritualistic humiliation.
Yeah, like he was trying to destroy his image.
Exactly. And it makes you think that it wasn't just about silencing Craven, it was about destroying his whole legacy.
Right.
That points to someone with some serious resentment.
Uh-huh.
And then there's Ricky, the janitor.
Oh, yeah, he creeps me out.
He's always lurking around.
Always in the shadows.
Seemingly amused by this whole chaotic situation.
Like a Greek chorus, just observing the tragedy and finding it funny.
I know. What do you make of all his cryptic comments and unsettling presence?
I think he's fascinating because he's almost like the club itself come to life.
Right.
He's seen everything. He's heard everything.
He knows all the secrets.
Exactly. He's the keeper of the club's secrets.
He adds a whole layer of creepiness.
He does.
Before we jump into some more characters, though, let's go back to that printing shop receipt.
Oh, yeah, that was a good find.
It seemed to connect all the players.
It did. That printing shop receipt leads to something that really shakes things up.
Yeah.
It leads to this notebook full of jokes.
Right.
Some are dark, some are disturbing.
Okay.
And tucked away in the pages, there's a sketch of Craven's dressing room.
Oh, wow.
The premeditation is chilling.
It really is like the killer was rehearsing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Using humor to like process it all.
Or even relish it.
Right. It's like this psychological puzzle.
Yeah, this goes way beyond just a crime of passion. What? It's someone crafting a narrative, a performance.
Right.
And then just when you think you're starting to get it,
Yeah.
we get Danny Cooper.
Craven's protege.
Yeah, and now his act is all about betrayal and revenge.
Do you think that's art imitating life? Or is he trying to cover his tracks?
I think it's a brilliant move by the author.
Yeah.
Because it plays on our expectations of what a protege is.
Right.
We're so used to seeing them as the victim,
Yeah.
but here we have to consider that maybe he's the one in control now.
So that ambiguity makes him so much more interesting.
It does. And speaking of complex characters,
Okay.
let's not forget about Lenny Griggs,
Oh, yeah.
Craven's former writing partner.
Right.
His whole claim that Craven stole his jokes and destroyed his career just adds another layer to this whole mess.
It shows you how cutthroat the comedy world is.
It really does.
It's this constant battle for success and recognition.
And you have to wonder if with all the people he's wronged,
Yeah.
Craven's downfall was inevitable.
Yeah, and then this Chloe Park, Craven's newest protege.
Right.
But the book hints at this darker side to their relationship.
Yes.
It makes it seem like Craven wasn't always the benevolent mentor.
It's all about those power dynamics, you see. Especially the potential for abuse.
Yeah.
Is she seeking justice or is this revenge?
Well, and then we get Jack Torrance.
Oh, the obsessive fan.
Right, his handwriting matches the note at the crime scene.
It's like the author is playing with us.
Totally.
Making us doubt everything.
Yeah, like a classic red herring.
Exactly. Throwing us off the scent.
And then, bam.
What?
Sheila's murdered.
Oh, my God.
It's just like Craven's death.
So the stakes are higher now.
Right.
This isn't just about revenge anymore.
Yeah.
The killer is putting on a show.
They're playing with the audience.
And the investigators.
It's like they're directing this whole twisted play.
And then there's Danny's apartment.
Oh, right. It's all staged.
Totally fake evidence pointing at him.
The killer wants us to think it's him.
They have complete control over this whole thing.
Like, they need to have the last word
Oh, for sure.
to deliver that final punchline.
Oh, I mean, remember that text message to Max gets?
Yeah.
All good things must come to an end. Meet me where it all began.
Yeah, it's an invitation.
To this final showdown.
Right, where all the masks come off.
The question is, are they walking into a trap?
And who's really behind it all?
Right. Who's the mastermind?
The reveal is a shocker.
Oh, yeah.
It's Chloe Park.
The innocent little protege.
But she's the one who set this whole thing up.
I mean, it makes you rethink everything we thought we knew about her.
Yeah, so her motive was to show everyone the dark side of the comedy world.
To punish all the cruelty and the lies.
Right. She sees herself as like this dispenser of justice.
A vigilante cleaning up the system.
But her way of doing it is so messed up.
Of course.
It leads to all this pain.
So can violence ever be justified?
And her final act,
What's that?
trying to blow up the comedy club,
Oh, wow.
it's like a symbol of everything wrong with that world.
She wants to erase it all.
But it backfires. Max and Emily, they anticipated it.
So smart.
They diffused the explosive
So her big plan fails.
completely.
Shows you how pointless her actions were.
She gets arrested,
Her reign of terror is over.
but her actions change everything.
Oh, yeah.
What did you think about how the book showed the aftermath of it all?
Yeah, it's like this ripple effect, you know? And the book does a good job of shifting from the investigation to, like, the impact on everyone.
Yeah.
That's almost like a Greek tragedy.
Oh, yeah.
Even the attempt to get justice leads to more suffering.
It reminds us that even when you catch the killer, the damage is already done.
Right.
And the media just goes crazy.
Oh, totally.
They paint Chloe as both a villain and this tragic figure.
Yeah, like she was a victim of circumstance.
Exactly.
But she still did terrible things.
Right. And I think that's what makes this book so interesting.
Yeah.
It makes you question everything.
It really does.
You know, her motives, the abuse, the power imbalances. Well, you pointed out this one passage where Emily the journalist is reflecting on Chloe's actions.
Oh, yeah.
She writes, Chloe's methods were wrong, but her anger was real. She was a mirror reflecting the ugliness back on those who created it.
It's powerful.
It is?
Because it acknowledges the tragedy, but also kind of the necessity of what she did.
Right.
And it speaks to this idea that comedy isn't always harmless.
Yeah.
It can be a weapon, you know,
Right.
a way to control people.
And Emily's work, you know, she uses her platform to show the dark side.
Yeah, she's trying to reclaim the narrative.
Hold those in power accountable.
Exactly.
It's interesting to see how Danny Cooper deals with everything.
Oh, yeah, now that he's been cleared.
He leaves the comedy world behind.
You can't go back.
It's like a reminder that there are still casualties.
Even when the good guys win.
And Max Carvalho.
Yeah.
Even he seems different.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed in that last scene when he's having a drink with Emily, there's this weariness to him.
Yeah.
Like he knows justice isn't always enough.
It's like this story isn't really over.
Right.
I think that feeling of unease is intentional.
Yeah.
It's like saying the threat is gone, but the problems are still there.
Right. The things that drove Chloe to do what she did.
Yeah. And it reminds us that true justice is more than just catching the bad guy.
Absolutely.
It's about changing the whole system.
So it makes the deadly punchline more than just a whodunit.
Way more.
It makes you think about ambition, fame, and the price of entertainment.
And that's what makes it so powerful.
It really is. So the next time you're laughing at a comedian's jokes, take a second to think about their story.
It might be more complicated than you think.
So that wraps up our deep dive into the deadly punchline.
It's been a pleasure.
I hope you got something out of it.
I know I did.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those excerpts coming.
I will.